This is Fishes and Dishes. Seeing how the next episode is going to be released in one of their live conventions along with an anime insanity, I figured now's the time to talk about this episode so I can be ready for their upcoming episode, as well as the rest of June in terms of animation. The episode starts that the contestants are trying to figure out a way to revive the Funny Plans because they killed them all in the last episode, but no matter what they do, they make it worse. They even drown it in a pool and that's somehow caught on fire. What kind of SpongeBob logic is that? Anywho, Just Not and Deadpan again were both up for elimination because they were the first two teams to have their plants dead. Just Not cursed their funny plan with yellowface water, while Deadpan again killed their plant on purpose just so they could prevent a contestant's death. Still feels like they just caused death. Seeing how the first cake was a regular cake, the second one was a broken cheesecake, the third one a burrito, the next prize they're giving away are ramen noodles. And just like the previous cake insane, I'm just going to share my personal theories on why do I think that these contestants were safe for eliminating in this episode. First up is Just Not with Pillow. Although she was the only contestant on her team that didn't help the plan at all, she did receive some points from the viewers for her yoyle chess game, so she received the most votes from her team. Price Tag has proven to be a worthy recommended character thanks to their emoticon expressions, and in the last challenge, they used the prize value to receive some points in the amusement park challenge. And they also received some points on casting their own vote to save themselves from elimination, so they received the second most votes on Just Not. Bombi, although he was absent throughout most of the episode because he blew up, however, it was his explosion that released the cactus water for Neely, so he received enough votes to stay in the game, as well as Nico for bringing in the spring bottle. Now, Cake seemed to be an easy target to get rid of since he did pour some cursed water on the funny plant. However, this is a viewer's vote, not a contestant vote. There's a difference. So he ended up receiving some sympathy votes. After all, he didn't know that the yellow-faced skull was cursed. Which leads us to Neely and Book, the first and last contestant to help the funny plant before Cake arrived. But in the end, there was one contestant in the pontoon that definitely nailed it, and was none other than Book. For Neely, not so much. So my guess is on why Neely was eliminated because she didn't show that much of value to the team, much like Foldy. Sure, she was the first member of the team that bring in some water for the funny plant, but it was too little too late. Although Book didn't find any water, she did use her motivational speech to help the plant grow even taller than before. With Neely, on the other hand, even though she was the first member to bring in some water to the team, she didn't do it by herself. She got some help from Bombi. But she made lots of viewers for blowing up her best friend, even though she technically received permission from Bombi, but he didn't know what she was planning to do with him. I guess that maybe it would help if Neely would just spare Bombi from the last episode and she would use her spike to stab the cactus to release the water. So while I may have a feeling that Neely was the one that was going to be eliminated in TPOT 5, one member from Deadpan again will say goodbye to one of their members again. It's not going to be Marker because he received the most votes from the viewers for his noble sacrifice with the scissors. Black Hole, although he was the one that did the final word on just killing the plant, he did receive the most votes from the last Cake Estate, and in this one he received the second most votes, so he is safe. Tree received the third most votes because the viewers appreciate his evilness with the plant. Which brings us to Lightning, Remote, and Fanny, another close battle with the vote numbers. Before he was kicked out of the jungle, Lightning accidentally shocked the funny plant, so Deadpan again recommended Lightning would just stay in the grass field. He really tried his best at preventing Puffball from going to the jungle, and the viewers were really sorry about him and what happened to him the last episode, so they had to spare him for another episode. Now for the Bantu, they had legit reasons why they could have been eliminated. Fanny was the one that motivated Deadpan again to kick Lightning out of the jungle for her hatred speech. If she hadn't yelled at Lightning for being in the jungle, Puffball would never arrive and sabotage them. With Remote, she was the only person to make it through their indestructible tower to save Ice Cube from dying, but she failed to rescue her all by herself. As previously stated, this was another close vote battle, and I was really hoping that Fanny would finally be eliminated this episode because I had with her and her hate talk behavior. It is seriously unhealthy. She's just looking for stuff to hate, even something normal as water or cake. But no, even though she received the second most votes from the last Cake Estate, Remote was the one that got eliminated. So there could be some possible reasons why the viewers chose Fanny over Remote. Because Remote was the only member of the team that was so worried about losing, she failed to reach in the rest of her own teammate on saving Ice Cube and the Funny Plant together. Fanny, on the other hand, had some good points on why they couldn't save both Ice Cube and the plant, only Ice Cube herself. If Remote kept the conversation on saving both Ice Cube and the Funny Plant just a bit longer, then their team would be saved and the strongest team on Earth would be up for elimination instead of them. I really would like it if Fanny joined Pi to who knows where, but I had to accept Remote's fate in this episode. So I'm really gonna miss Remote. She was an awesome Death Pack original. So after Cake and Safe, the contestants caused a big splash in the pool, which causes Two's fancy dinner plane to be washed up in Goinky Canal, which leads us to the 5th contest. The teams must bring in 1 dinner plate to 2. The 2 teams that fail to give them a dinner plate will join them at Cake and Steak. There really isn't that much development in this episode, with a few exceptions of course, but I thought this episode was pretty good. And I'm glad they went back to doing some racing challenges for this one, because they're usually my favorite parts in these team challenges. There are 2 developments that stand out the most, and that is regarding the strongest team on Earth and Are You OK? Originally, the strongest team on Earth was going to use some breathable bubbles to go underwater to get the dinner plate, but Gulpball and her big ego got in the way by showing off her robotic fish monster, which causes the strongest team on Earth to steal her team's robotic fish monster. So the Are You OK team will have to deal with the breathable bubbles that the strongest team on Earth was originally going to use, but Gulpball hates it with a passion because she wants to use her robotic fish monster, not someone else's idea. On the one hand, I can kind of see why she's upset on using the breathable bubbles because she wants to use the robotic fish monster that she created and not someone else did. But at the same time, she should be happy on stealing the breathable bubbles to get back at the team that stole her robotic fish monster so she can get even with them. At least she has something to get close to the dinner plates. I also didn't like Gulpball forcing Puffball to sit out in the last challenge again. I actually thought she would warm up to Puffball after sabotaging Death Pack again for the last episode. But no, she's afraid that Puffball will sabotage their own team even though this is not BFDIA. I actually support Fries with this one. I don't like how Gulpball is treating Puffball, which is why I'm glad that Fries volunteered to be a co-saboteur for Puffball for Just Not. Now for the second development on TPOT 5, we got some relationship between TV and Robot Flower, even though they're on different teams, mechanical minds think alike, where TV tries to persuade Robot Flower on sabotaging her own team. Plus, we do get some dialogue from TV, not just reused clips from past BFDI episodes. But he's not the only one that got new dialogue. That would be Ice Cube. There's like 3 or 4 new dialogues from her, and it's not just reused audio from the other BFDI episodes she appeared in, and it's so refreshing. And keep in mind, BFDI contestant voiceovers had changed throughout the years. Some good examples is with Gelatin and Needle. Even though their voices are slightly different, they're still themselves. But back onto Ice Cube's team and everyone else's, I thought their methods on getting to the water to the dinner place were actually pretty good. The Yes team had a pretty good idea on freezing the water so they can steal the dinner plates on top, but I really don't like it they keep using Ice Cube as a way to freeze stuff by killing her. Coiny came up with a plan that isn't considered cheating by using this phone to do some online shopping to get the world's biggest magnet to magnetize the dinner plates to them. But they accidentally mailed the magnet to Yellowface's warehouse, which is 2,762 miles away from them. And you find it funny that they put in a 2 at the end instead of 3 for that usual number, which really points out that not everything is the same distance in this BFDI universe. But I do have one thing to say about Yellowface's warehouse. Don't give Pillow that world-ending bomb! We actually know she would use that! As for her team, they actually messed with the laws of physics by going to the air by messing with Book's definition on gravity. Even Bartback did the same thing by changing the slowest train to the fastest train just by riding. Oh, if only life was that simple. Teardrop did pretty good as well by herself by merging with the Goinky Canal, which I have a feeling since she is made of water after all. But why does Eraser want to pick on Teardrop? Why does he think she's the new Bubble in this season? Did he forget that she killed him with a death ray in TPOT 2? She can do it again, you know. But my favorite and funniest moment in TPOT 5 is with Marker, Tree, and Fanny communicating each other through yoyle dancing so they can breathe underwater. I have no idea what's up with these dance moves, but if yoyle dancing was a thing, I'd totally be up for it. So I really like the racing challenge. That's all I got to say about TPOT 5 as a whole. It's overall good. Will Eraser ever stop picking on Teardrop? Is Golf Ball going to continue to neglect Puffball? And will we ever receive more lines from Ice Cube or TV later in the future? Well, all will be revealed later this summer.